Welcome to another Demarcation Media Lego review. It's been a long time since I did a Lego review, but today we're going to break that streak because we have a really exciting set here that is Trouble on Tatooine. Now, before we go any further, I will be talking spoilers for Mandalorian Season 1 and Mandalorian Season 2. So, if you have not seen either of those, stop the video, go away, come back once you've watched that, because I don't really want to spoil things for you. Alright, still here? Okay, so, first of all, this box design is really nice. This is a smaller set, and it's kind of a skinny box. We get to see Mando in his Season 1 armor up here, a bunch of white bricks. The box looks nice, but what kind of confuses me is the fact that Mando seems to be fighting the Tuscan Raider, and that never happened in the show at all. He usually talks to them and doesn't fight them, but I don't know. I guess they had to have some conflict on the box. But we can see Baby Grogu down there, aka Baby Yoda, aka the child, Mando in his full Beskar armor, and a Tuscan Raider. Mando again. The back, now it kind of looks like Mando's talking to the Tuscan, but he still looks like he's about to shoot him. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this open because I'm really excited for that Grogu piece. What in the world? That just came right off. That's weird. I originally was going to get the Razor Crest set to get Baby Yoda. I still have a hard time just saying Grogu because I like Baby Yoda better. But I was going to do the Razor Crest to get him, but I waited. And I'm glad I did because this set not only has Baby Yoda, but has the best version of the Mando as well. There's our instructions. They're kind of square, and wait a minute. We got Mando here and Vader here. Huh? Why is that? It's a little strange, but there's some other sets from this wave. Some figures. I do not like that new Stormtrooper helmet at all. Looks super dumb. And let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 bags of parts. You know, I could have just looked at this and seen that it was 3. So, yeah. Well, let's see. I was going to just open all the bags, but they usually have you build them according to each bag. So let me go ahead and build this, and then we'll take a closer look. Alright, there it is. Everything is all built, and I gotta say, that was a pretty fun build overall. It was divided into 3 evenly sized kind of chunks. We got the speeder and the Mando and the child, and then we got the Tuscan Raider and his little hut, and then the ballista. So it was kind of 3 different things. And this feels like it could be a set by itself. That feels like it could be a set by itself. So I found that pretty cool. And our pile of extras is kind of really large. Like, that's a lot of extra pieces for such a small set, and there's some really good ones in here too. So yeah, it was a fun build, and we get a ton of cool extras. So let's go ahead and jump right into the figures, starting with that Tuscan Raider. There he is, and this is actually my first Tuscan Raider minifigure I've ever gotten. I never got any of the older ones, so I really don't have any basis to compare. But here's his gaff stick. It's pretty simple, but I think it does its job. And then the figure himself has some great printing, bunch of pouches, some ragged robes. The kind of belting goes around to the back, and the head is a special mold with all the bandages running across it. The kind of breather on the front that looks like that yelling mouth. The spikes on the head. It's pretty cool. This guy was not the reason I bought the set, but I am not going to complain about his inclusion because he looks really, really good. Next up is the Mando himself, and before we look at the figure, let's take a look at the weapons, because my biggest issue with this figure comes in the form of the weapons. So this is supposed to be his pistol, and these pieces have been used for Jango Fett before for his pistols. I don't know, it just doesn't work here, in my opinion. It just looks weird, and when he holds it, the problem with these is that the handle is not angled, so when he holds it straight, he ends up holding it kind of like downward at an angle, and it looks weird. And then his rifle. Yeah, that doesn't look good. Like, it's a rifle. It's supposed to have a stock. Instead, we just have a handle and a long stick. So, I really don't like these weapons. What I did to replace it was, for his pistol, grabbed one of the old Clone Commander pistols. It's not perfect, but I think it works. And then, for the rifle, this is what I'm using. And yes, it did require me to cut the barrel off of this rifle and cut part off of the clip. I know, it's terrible cutting Lego pieces, but it works so much better. Just look at that. That's so much better than that. I don't know what Lego was thinking with this. Okay, with those subpar weapons out of the way, let's take a look at the figure himself. And there is so much going on here. But the biggest thing that stands out is the fact that he has arm printing. Lego almost never does Star Wars figures with arm printing, and also never in a set that is small and affordable. But they did it this time, giving us the best version of the Mandalorian to date in a small set with arm printing. Look at that. Shoulder armor, the little whistling birds launcher, whatever else he has on this wrist. His signet, which is really, really cool. I love that they put that on there. This side, the black lines are a little more crisp and clean than on this side for some reason, but that's a minor gripe. Torso printing, fantastic. Leg printing, also fantastic. The only thing that they've left out on the legs is the ankle, like, ammo holder, but since he doesn't really have ankles, that's fine. His helmet is not as accurate as it could be, because in the show he has that kind of ridge up the center. I think maybe that could have been done as a print. Still, it looks pretty good. The mold mark on the top is a little bit of an eyesore, but not terrible. There's around the back. He has this new cape that was made, I believe, specifically for the Mandalorians. There we go. He does not have his jetpack here, but I'm alright with that, because he typically doesn't wear it. And then, under the helmet, well, he's not going to remove his helmet. This is the way. And then last, but most certainly not least, we have Grogu himself. And I'll just look at that. Look at that little head. Oh, this is perfect. Lego did a good job here. This is a normal Lego baby torso, and it's got a little bit of print for Grogu's robes. His hands are printed in green. The seam line and the green color on the hands doesn't quite match the head. It's a little lighter, and the seam line is a little bit unsightly. but those are minor nitpicks. And then that head is a brand new piece just for Grogu. No print around the back, but you really don't need it. Oh, that's perfect. The arms can't pose, but you can turn the head from side to side. Ah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Lego did such a good thing here because he was first in the Razor Crest set, which is a very large set. And it would be quite like Lego to leave Baby Yoda in the big set, so you had to buy the big set if you wanted him. But no, they went and they gave him to us in a small set, and I really, really appreciate that because this is a fantastic little figure. Moving on to the builds, I wanted to go ahead and start with this ballista. On the box, it shows the Tuscan using it to attack the Mandalorian. However, in episode 1 of season 2, this was actually used to attack the crate dragon and try to distract it. And I think this has been recreated very, very well, especially at this scale. There's so much detail on here. We've got the cranks here to wind it up, a little handle on the back, faux strings, the kind of fins sticking out here. The bow section are actually angled forward a bit. And then, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but it was there in the movie. I guess maybe it's a wheel. I don't know. And then we have, obviously, the tripod feet. And there's a clear brick there to keep the legs from popping loose. So that was a nice touch. I don't think it's totally necessary. They could have done like a slider piece, but it's good. It's scaled very well. Maybe a little on the large side, but it's very well scaled overall. And then, of course, it's got a spring-loaded shooter, so we can actually fire out this big silver bolt, and there are 2 of them in this set. So this is definitely not the first thing that caught my eye when I saw the set, but it's definitely not a waste of parts. And here is Mando's speeder, and this speeder is very well made. It's got a lot of detail. It's just, this whole set has more detail than I'm used to seeing for Star Wars sets of this size. We've got a little bit of asymmetrical design and kind of the exposed engine detail. There's a little bag there, I guess for supplies. The struts coming out are kind of at an angle. This is angled down just to give that shaping that we saw in the show. And then to seat Mando on there, we've got 2 handles for him to hold on to. He can sit like so. I don't know if he's supposed to sit further forward or not, because there is some studs there. So if you wanted him to actually just sit, he could. But that works as well. Then we've got a space for his rifle. Let's see. I think we're supposed to put it on like that. And then another clip on the side for his pistol. I really appreciate that they gave us some storage on there. And then, obviously, we gotta have a spot for Baby Yoda. He goes where the Mando goes, so he needs a spot. He's got his little baby carrier. How cool is that? Yeah, this is just a really, really good build. Like I said, it feels like just this could be a set in of itself. It's just good. I really like this. And the mix of colors too, it really shows that ramshackle look that the Mandalorian show has. And then last but not least, we have the Tuscan Raider hut. And I am a sucker for terrain builds. And while this isn't exactly a terrain build, it's close enough. So I really like this. I liked it since I saw the set first revealed. It's just really nice looking. I think it's going to be really useful for photos. Around the back, there are some gaps in the walls that could have kind of been fixed, but that would have added more parts and driven the price up. So I'm fine with how this is. And we got that nice curve too, and you can kind of flatten it out. That almost looks like a fortress wall at that point. So that's kind of interesting. But flattening it out gives you access to the space inside. There's like some seats, like so. There's, I don't know, is that a plate or something? We got a pot with a bone, a little fire. That's really good. And I really like how we've got this support pillar in the center. They could have just ignored the support pillar and it would have just kind of been a weird tent, but that really kind of seals the deal. I really like this. I like it quite a bit. Let me go ahead and grab little Baby Yoda, stick him on there. How can you go wrong with that? Well, there you have it. That is Trouble on Tatooine. I mean, at this point, I'm sure you can tell I really like this set. I think Lego did such a great thing by making this set and having the Beskar, Mandalorian, and Baby Yoda available at such a reasonable price. I think that $30 is a very fair price for this set. I would have liked to see a Cobb Vanth figure maybe added in, but that probably would have driven it to a $40 set, which I guess would have been all right, but, you know, that's a bit of a pipe dream and just some wishful thinking. But overall, this is a really good set. I definitely recommend that if you are a fan of the show and you're trying to decide which set to get, because there are 3 sets so far. We got the ATST Raider from the first season, the Razor Crest with season 1 figures, and now this one from season 2. And I'd say out of the 3, this one is definitely the one you want to get first, because it has the best version of the Mandalorian and it has Baby Yoda, and it's affordable. Plus you get the Tuscan Raider and the Hutt and the Ballista, which is all very accurate to the show. So I can't say enough about how good this set is. This is not one you want to miss out on. Go ahead and get one. How can you say no to that little face? How can you say no? Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.